Hi, everybody. My name is Jason.
I'm Caden. I'm Jaden.
I'm Nicole.
I'm Eli.
And we are the 𝐤𝐄𝐄 and the Torah channel. And we thank you guys very, very much for being a part of our little family. We are a little family out in the middle of a jungle. And we are very, very happy that you guys joined us. We have 9 pit bulls, and they oftentimes disrupt us. They're uncaged, they're unkennelled, unchained, and they live all around us. And so sometimes they make some noise. And so our apologies for that. Today they are acting a little wild. So we hope that does not disrupt any of this. But we are, we're very, very happy you guys are here. We, again, we are the people that believe that the laws, statutes, and commandments that are found in the first five books of scriptures are the guideposts to life. They are everything that we should be seeking. It's everything that has been given to us as a blessing from our Creator. They are literally the part of life. And if we choose to ignore the laws, statutes, and commands, then we're ignoring one of the greatest parts of life that we have. And that's the ability to walk as our Creator wants us to walk and to do what our Creator wants us to do. And it's one of those things that we either have a choice, what people call free will, and that is absolutely what we have. We all have a free will of, will we choose to obey our Creator or will we not? And we have a tremendous amount of folks out there, a tremendous amount of religions. Nobody cares about Shabbat. Nobody cares about Torah. Nobody cares about any of this. And it's a small group of people. And there's not a lot of people that I believe will make the kingdom. Messiah says it himself that most don't make it, that this path is a hard path to make. and that only those who are obeying the laws, statutes, and commandments of his Father are the people who will be saved. All right, Cade, will you please open us up in prayer?
And Father, thank you once again for your week and for giving us the Shabbat, giving us this command, for giving us a day to rest, because you've cared so much about us to rest. And we ask that you bless this day, that your day is ordained and sanctified, that this reading today is sanctified, that it is what you have put on our hearts to read, to find out, to search out what we are supposed to be doing. And I ask that your will is done through everything. I ask that your will is done through all the people here, all the family we have seeking your ways and your will, your Torah. Thank you for your Son. Thank you for your prophets. Thank you for your commands. I thank you for this day, and I thank you for your kindness towards us. In Yeshua's name, amen.
Okay. All right. So what we're going to be doing is beginning with a verse. This is Deuteronomy 6, 4 through 9, and this verse is very, very, very important. Jade, will you please read this for us?
Yes. Hear, O Yisrael, Yahuwah Elohim, Yahuwah is one. You shall love Yahuwah your Elohim with all your heart, with all your being, and with all your might. And these words that I am commanding you today shall be in your heart. You shall impress them upon your children, and shall speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, when you rise up. And you shall bind them as a sign on your hand, and they shall be splashed between your eyes. And you shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates.
Okay. All right. So let us begin into this. Miss Nicole, who do we have? Let's say hi to our family out there is in the chat room.
All right. We have, let me get back up here to the top. Read the Torah and his son.
What's up? What's up to you, Read the Torah and his son? Much love to you.
Candy and Ruby.
What's up, sis?
Days Rainey.
Hi.
Irma. Jeremy and Callan.
What's up, Callan? How you doing, little buddy? Shabbat shalom.
Katrina. We have Lisa and we have Kaim.
Lisa and Bear.
Lisa and Bear. And then
Say hi to Bear.
Kaim also, and Yamin, his daughter.
Hi, what's up, little Yamin?
And then we have Beverly, a new name. And then I'm going to have Jaden say this one because I have no idea how to pronounce that.
Memorio Sores dos Santos.
Katrina says Quentin and Claudia, so that may be
Her two.
their names. What's up, Clinton and Claudia? Continue on.
Sister Barb.
What's up?
Sylvia.
The C words.
The Grandma's here.
Wow.
Mama CA.
Yay.
Brian with Honeymoon Stitch. And I think I got everybody.
Awesome. Well, it is so good to see all of you guys here. It is amazing to see this little family, people who are willing to seek our Creator. And you know, last week we were talking about what we were reading was about Shabbat. It was about the ways of Shabbat. And I was talking to a family down here, and they are in what we call the Christian conundrum. When the Christian conundrum is that place where you end up in a religion and then you actually start reading scriptures, and the scriptures don't mesh at all with what we have learned in the Christian religion. And this little family is a sweet little family. They're very, very new to Torah, very new to walking in the way. And they had some questions regarding the Shabbat, because as we were, as they are just joining into the Shabbat and joining into the day of rest, one of the problems that they had was that up to this point, all of their basketball games, all the stuff for their kids were happening on a Saturday, right? It was happening on the Shabbat day. And this is the Christian conundrum. This is where it is very, very hard as a leader of a family, because as parents, as people who are leading their children, the last thing we want to do is see our children upset or not happy or things of that nature. And he was describing to me how, you know, it's a huge part of their thing. It's a huge part of their life for the kids, playing basketball on a Saturday. And he asked me if that was rest. And I told him that that's absolutely not rest. And it's one of those things. It's his absolutely first big pitfall that he and his family are going to have to figure out, is how to do that. And that's one of these things, again, when we first got into Torah keeping, we shredded everything we had. We had all these satanic toys. We had all this stuff that we had just given our kids through a lifetime of this before we ever found Torah. And we had our kids so down the rabbit hole of death with the world that we were living, that we literally had to rip everything out. Christmas, Easter, everything. We stripped everything out from all of us, and we all volunteered to do this, right? We all saw the way forward. We all saw what was needed. And I remember it was probably about 10 years ago when we took all of these toys. I mean, literally 10, 11 years of toys where we had given the kids all of these things, and we had started researching it, and when our eyes were open, all these toys that we were gotten were, they were all named after satanic toys and things. We went out back and we had a bonfire, and we literally sat and built a big pit. We threw every toy in there and we burned it, and the thing burned black smoke out of that for days. It was crazy. But that was the last time that we had things like that, and we got out of it. And that was part of the Christian conundrum, is when we see scriptures and when we understand what scripture says, it is different than what the world says. Our day of rest is a day of rest. It's a day that we are to be resting. It's not a day that we should be out doing this. Unfortunately, the entire world doesn't care about our Creator. They don't care about Shabbat. So they're going to do everything on a Saturday. They're going to do it on Saturn's day, right? And so this is the things that all of us as people of Yah, we have to figure out, right? We have to get through this. And a lot of times they're not easy choices. A lot of times, especially when we're coming into covenant, when we're getting out of the world, it's hard to make use of the new tools that we have. And the new tools basically are things like, you need to be separated from the world, right? That's a tool. When we're not supposed to look like the world, smell like the world, taste like the world, be like the world. If we are those things, then by default we are the world. And Scripture very clearly says that the world is an enemy of our Creator, and that is very, very true. So this is the hopes and dreams, and the hopefully the love that we have for all of you guys out there, is that we are able to get through these pitfalls and make it through these conundrums and get to where we and our entire families are able to seek our Creator, and where we're in bringing our kids up in a foundation of strength, right? The difference between bringing your kids up in a religion, a so-called Christian religion, is like building your house with sticks or building your house with brick, right? When you have sticks and when you have that, it doesn't matter, a fire's going to come and burn your house down, the wind's going to blow your house down. But when you build your house with bricks, it's going to take a lot more than the world to knock this down. And so when you are building your lives with bricks, that bricks are the Torah. When we're reading the Torah, and what we're about to read right now are the foundational bricks for a life that our Creator has asked us all to live, that is in covenant with Him, that separates us from all of the world. And so let us begin with this right now. Did you have anything, Mystical?
Sister Barb just said they did it too, and they had 19 trash bags of stuff that went out. She's like, what, and more, but we stopped counting at 19.
Yeah, it was really, really bad. I mean, we brought our kids up in these, there's these little spin toys, and they're called Beyblades. And as a child that you have no idea, or even being awake or being asleep, you have no idea that every single one of these little toys that we were spinning the kids around for years and years and years were all named after deities. They were all named after false gods. Every single one of them, and everything we had our kids involved into was completely satanic. It was completely demonized. And it's lucky. It is very, very lucky. I'm not going to say lucky. It is by the hand of our Creator that we are talking to you guys today, because we were so long, so gone, so far away at a long time ago. And it is literally only by the hand of our Creator that He can pull out trash out of the burning pit, and He can restore it to a place where He has. And we were that trash. We were those people that we were just living. We were living in hell and enjoying it, and it was a great place to be. Babylon rocks if you're asleep, but when you are awake, it is something that scares the living heck out of you. Okay, let us go right here.
This is a discussion on sports real quick.
Okay.
Emissary says, I don't think just children playing sports is necessarily against the Shabbat. However, with organized sports, parents are usually paying money and also end up buying and selling and taking that time. Then Sister Barb says, sports are of Rome, brother. And then she also said, Yeshua did not play basketball on Shabbat.
And you know, we don't. I mean, I don't even know if we have to have these discussions, because we did have this discussion last week when we read what it means to keep a Shabbat. Right? It's a day of rest. Picking up sticks is a problem, and I will agree to a degree that if you're out like kicking a ball around or something in your yard on a Shabbat or something of the sort, I don't know so much as that is what we're talking about. What we are talking about is we're talking about on a Shabbat, getting all your family, getting in your car, driving down to the local field, everybody doing your stuff. You're sitting there cheering on people. There's vendors everywhere. You are absolutely not glorifying our Creator. You're absolutely not at rest. You're absolutely not doing what we should be doing, and we're doing what's opposite. And unfortunately, it's at the, our kids are the ones that have to become adults first, as the adults explain to them that what we're doing on a Sabbath is not holy to our Creator, it's not Kodesh, and it's not where we should be. So, Yeah, let's continue on here. You guys keep chatting it up. We are going to go through the most amazing things that we can possibly ever talk about today, and that is the laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator. We go over these every Shabbat. And guys, they did this back in the days of Jeremiah. They did this back in the days of Ezekiel. They did this back in the days. They would sit there on a Shabbat and they would go over this stuff, and the people would they would be very, very happy. Ezra did it back in his days when he was coming out of captivity. Remember the time when Ezra did this? They read this and everybody was weeping. Everybody was rejoicing. These are these same things that we can all weep and we can rejoice that our Creator has given this to us as a blessing, and we don't want to not do them, because with that He also gives us curses, right? If we don't keep His covenant, if they don't matter to us, then we're not going to matter to our Creator. We're not going to matter to His Son. We're not going to matter to the reign of the Shemaim that is coming. So let us begin, and here we go. Be fruitful.
Multiply.
Replenish the earth.
Subdue it, having over the fish, fowl, and every living creature.
They are bearing, and every tree is for food.
Men and women should build their own families.
Master sin.
Every clean moving thing that lives shall be food for you.
Do not eat the blood.
Walk before me and be perfect.
Guard Yahuwah's covenant, laws, statutes, and commandments.
Every male shall be circumcised at 8 days old.
Teach your children the commands and guard the way of Yahuwah.
Remember Yahuwah's name for all generations.
Keep the Passover, Pesach.
Keep a feast of unleavened bread, festival of matzah.
There's one Torah for the stranger and the Hebrew.
Sanctify all firstborn to Yahuwah.
There are no mighty ones before Yahuwah.
You shall not make graven images.
Do not bring Yahuwah's name to naught.
Keep the Shabbat.
Honor your parents.
Do not kill.
Do not break wedlock.
Do not steal.
Do not make false accusations against your neighbor.
Do not covet anything of your neighbor's.
Do not make an altar from rock that a tool has touched.
Do not go up the altar by the steps.
If a man steals cattle, he shall restore it 5 times.
Yahuwah's laws for criminals.
Do not lie with beast.
No sacrifice to other Elohim.
Do not oppress the stranger, fatherless, or widow.
Do not charge your brother interest.
Do not, or if you borrow your neighbor's raiment, return to him before sunset.
Do not curse the ruler of your people.
Do not eat what is torn of any beast.
No false report.
Do not follow a multitude of evil.
Do not judge unrighteously against the poor.
Bring back your enemy's cattle if you find it going astray.
Help the animals of your enemy.
Stay away from rumors and gossipers.
Take no bribes.
Do not oppress a stranger. Love the stranger.
Give your land rest in the 7th year.
Do not mention any pagan names.
Keep the feast of Yahuwah.
Do not cook your goat in his mother's milk.
Obey the messenger Yahuwah sends before you.
Do not bow down to other Elohim.
Serve Yahuwah.
Make no covenant with other Elohim or outside of the land.
Do not make use of anointing oil on a person. And do not make or use his perfume on an old person.
Do not eat the fat.
Do what you say you are going to do.
Return what is your neighbor's.
All right, hold on. So I saw a comment that Graham made. The Grand was talking about sports idolize the body. Can you read that, because it just kind of it's mixed up in that.
She just has sports idolize the body, the physical.
And so I don't want to like leave this discussion on this whole like two part. I don't see see sports or like working out or things of this as anything against Torah. I've never seen anything like that. When we're talking about sports to the point where we are painting our faces and we are dressing up as some sort of things, and you can see it in simple NFL games, right? When you look at the NFL games, there's a difference between the playing and the idolizing of the people. And I think if we are, I think playing sports is a good thing, as long as we do not get into the entire thing where we are becoming like those guys that are looking at their bodies and just like, staring at the mirror and just how tough and, idolizing things like this. I don't see anywhere in scriptures or anything that says we should not be playing sports or having to do that, right? As a set apart people, we can all have our own kids and our own people come together, and we can all have things of this nature, right? There's nothing against this in Torah, anything like that.
It's physical, like it helps your body.
Yeah, and it is physical. Yeah, I mean, there's something to be said about physical fitness, where our minds and bodies and spirits are all together, in we're not just sitting there. One of the commandments we have is to be fruitful, right? And if we're just sitting around doing absolutely nothing, we're not making that commandment right. So anyway, let's go to the next one. Where are we at, guys?
I think obey Yahuwah's dietary laws.
Yeah, definitely don't put anything above Yah, and
All right. Obey Yahuwah's dietary laws.
Women's time of separation.
Obey Yahuwah's hygiene laws.
Keep the Day of Atonement, 𝐤𝐄𝐄𝐄.
Do not cover the nakedness of your family.
Do not hate your own sister or wife.
Do not lie with a woman in her uncleanness.
You shall not sacrifice your children to Moloch.
Do not be a sodomite.
Be Kodesh.
Do not reap the corners of your field, or you shall not reap or shall not glean your vineyard.
Do not deal falsely or defraud your neighbor.
Do not lie or be a liar.
Pay your workers for the day's wages they are due.
Do not harm the disabled.
Do not endanger your neighbor.
Do not hate your brother.
Rebuke your neighbor for his sin.
Love your neighbor as yourself.
Do not diverse your cattle.
Do not mingle your seed.
Do not mingle linen and wool.
Do not lie with a taken woman.
Do not eat the fruit of the trees for 3 years.
Do not practice sorcery.
Do not round your beard or the corners of your head.
Do not cut yourself with the dead.
Do not get tattoos.
Do not prostitute your daughter.
Do not defile your temple.
Do not consult the medium.
Respect your elders.
Have correct weights and measures.
Do not walk in the manners of the nation.
Keep the feast of first fruits, Shavuot, Omer count, Pentecost.
Keep the feast of first fruits, Torah.
All right, hold on. This is it's one thing to have zeal, it's another to be a zealot. Yeah, so I see the discussion they're having on this. Can you read Sister Barb's verse, please?
They say the Pledge of Allegiance and bow before the flag and bow, chant song ritual style. You should be at home apart from the world on Shabbat. It's a day of separation unto Yah.
Yeah, and I think there would be two questions on this. Number one is should we be doing this stuff on Shabbat? And I would say absolutely not. I mean, we have the rules for Shabbat. It's literally to stay in our house, right? Back in the days when we could go, say, we could walk 200 feet to our neighbor's house and they were having a Shabbat celebration, that was the thing. But nowadays people get in their car and they'll drive half a state away to sync with something, and they're paying for gas on the way, and it's just it's a thing. We have rules and regulations that our Creator has given to us, and we can either accept them or we can be defiant and not. What was Sister Barbara's thing again?
They say the Pledge of Allegiance.
Right, and absolutely. And it's not, it's like with every bit of that, the NFL, right? If you look at the NFL by default or any of these games that are out there, let's take the UFC, for example. The UFC is a violent, organized, satanic cesspool of crap. Like, that is the worst thing ever. You see these people, it didn't used to be like this, right? You would see these people and they walk in there and now they have the vav, vav, vav. They have a 666 across every side on this thing. In the middle of the ring, they have a 666 as they have women dance around there with no clothes on, as you have men in underwear. And it is an abomination. It is a complete abomination. That entire thing is an abomination. Now you look at the NFL and you look at that thing in whole. If you go to an NFL game, it doesn't matter if it's Shabbat or when it is, you're going to be doing your Pledge of Allegiance. Who are you pledging your allegiance to? Satan, right? All of us have been indoctrinated into pledging our allegiance, and that is contrary to Scriptures. We aren't to be pledging our allegiance to anybody, right? Except for Yahuwah and his kingdom to come. So now you look at the NFL and you look at all their Freemason satanic stuff that they have all the time. All of this stuff. There is nothing holy. There is nothing good. You can't watch a football game without seeing half-naked women dancing around and psychopaths that are all up in the stands, right? It is a very unholy convocation. The sports has always been corrupted. It is getting even more corrupted in the society that we are, and we should not be ingesting this stuff into our hearts, minds, and souls. We should not be watching things that have 666 and people are dancing around fighting in the middle of a ring half naked, right? These are the things that people of Yah need to change their ways. We need to be seeking things of our Creator and not seeking the things of this world. All right, I'm off my rant. Let's continue on. Where are we at?
I think keep the feast of Sukkot, Shem Yatereh.
Okay.
If you blaspheme the name of Yahuwah, you shall be put to death.
If you kill your neighbor animal, you must kill another.
Repay injury for injury.
Honor the Yovel, Jubilee year.
Confess your sins to Yahuwah and repay who have trespassed against.
The law of being a Nazir.
Wear as easy on the four corners of your garments.
The laws of whoever touched a corpse.
Follow Yahuwah's law of inheritance.
The law of keeping oath to Yahuwah.
Do not add or take away from the word.
Guard your soul.
Learn to fear Yahuwah.
You shall love Yahuwah with all your heart.
Bind the Torah, laws upon your hand and the frontlets between your eyes.
Write the Torah upon your doorpost.
Do not tempt Yahuwah.
Do what is right and good in the sight of Yahuwah.
Do not be afraid of your enemies.
Remember Yahuwah.
Circumcise your heart.
Cleave to Yahuwah.
Swear by his name.
Destroy graven images.
Do not make an idol of Yahuwah as the pagans do to their Elohim.
Rejoice in all Yahuwah has blessed you with.
Do not do what is right in your own eyes.
Do not hearken to the words of the false prophets.
So, and this is one of these things right here, Deuteronomy 12:8, right? Do not do what is right in your own eyes. This is where, if we are trying to decide if going to a basketball game or football game or something on Shabbat is something that we should be doing or not. All we have to do is look through the scriptures, and we have to, things like this. Do not do what is right in your own eyes, right? We know that if our Creator was standing right next to us and his son was standing on the other side of us, that we wouldn't be sitting there going, okay, let's go play a basketball game, right? Let's go play a football game. What we're going to say is, hey, let's go worship. Let's go do something. Let's talk about Shabbat. Let's talk about something holy, right? Everything that we talk about as people, please understand that our Creator and his son hear absolutely everything. And it's all going to be coming back to us. And if we are doing what is right in our own eyes, then we're absolutely not serving our Creator. And it's very important that we do serve our Creator, especially on a Shabbat, especially, not even especially on a Shabbat. We need to serve our Creator all the time. And his day is the Shabbat day. And so we don't need to be defiling this, and we should not be doing evil things, that is. So
Today's reading has, turn your foot from doing your own pleasure on my holy day.
yeah, absolutely. And that's it. This is the Christian conundrum, right? Are we willing to do what Scripture says, or are we going to do what the world wants us to do? And it's often very, very difficult. It's not an easy path. Okay, continue on, gentlemen. Anyone?
Do not make any bottomless in your eyes for the dead.
You shall not eat any abominable thing.
You shall give to a stranger clean food that died himself, but you shall not eat of it.
Give your tithe of increase of seed year by year.
The law is the end of the 7-year release.
Do not borrow from the nations.
Do not harden your heart, nor shut your hand from the poor.
Guard month one of Yahuwah's calendar.
3 times a year, all males shall appear before Yahuwah.
You shall make judges and officers in all your gates.
Do not plant Asherah poles near the altar.
There must be 2 or 3 witnesses.
Hearken unto the prophet Yahuwah has chosen.
The prophet tested Deuteronomy.
Do not remove your neighbor's property line.
How to deal with a false witness among Torah keepers.
The first child get double portions.
If your brother's cattle or clothes are lost and you find them, you must return them.
No one shall not wear what pertains to a man, nor a man what pertains to a woman.
If you find a bird's nest with the mother and the babies, or eggs, take the babies, but not the mother.
If you build a new house with a flat roof that will be lived on, you must put a railing around it.
Do not be a prostitute.
Do not use dirty money.
Law of divorce.
Do not take a millstone for pledge.
If you lend to your brother, do not enter his house to get your payment. He must bring it to you. Return his clothing before sunset, if that was his pledge.
Do not oppress the hired servant that is poor and needy.
Every man should be put to death for his own sin.
Do not go back for the branch sheaves in the field, deal for the stranger, fatherless, and widow.
Do not muzzle your ox when he treads out grain.
If your brother dies and has no child, you shall take his wife and name the firstborn after your brother. At the end of the 7 years, you are to read the Torah, the Feast of Coat, the Feast of Tabernacles.
Okay. All right. Thank you guys very, very much. And let us continue on, guys. Those are the laws, statutes, and commandments. And these are what people, I had some, it never ends on YouTube. And unfortunately, but we have like 4 YouTube channels, and none of the channels are filled with people that love Yah. There's a few of us here, and the people here in this this room obviously are people that are dedicated and love Yah. But we have a channel that has 36,000 people on it, and most of the people, if you post anything, they just completely go off. One dude was going off about how I was putting everybody back under bondage. Over again, we've been, and it was the same old rhetoric that we hear all the time. They're like, oh, Jesus freed us from the law. You're trying to put us back in bondage. And, at some point, I just delete the messages. I don't even respond to anybody anymore, because I responded for the first 7 or 8 years on YouTube. I responded to every single comment faithfully. And now it seems like the zombie Christian machines are out there, and they say the exact same stuff. Numbered. If you're looking at Christianity versus Torah keepers, it's like, what, 0.01% to 100%? We don't have much of a base for this. So the laws are good. They're good for all time. They need to be kept, and we will always say that. We will always cheer. We will always cheer this on. There's a lie that has been passed on. It's the once saved, always saved, and they will fall on their sword telling us you cannot lose your salvation, when it's very clear our Messiah, who you call Jesus Christ, who is Yahushua HaMashiach, said very clearly that you can lose it. Matthew 7 clearly says you can lose your salvation. There's places that clearly say you can lose your salvation, but let's just get it, as they say, from the horse's mouth, from the Son of the Most High's mouth, you can lose your salvation. Depart from me, you who work lawlessness. That's called losing your salvation right there. So the once saved, always saved is completely trumped. It's a garbage hoax that everybody's been led into. And, you know, they're going to be sitting up there saying things like, Messiah, Messiah, we did all this stuff in your name. We cast out demons. It was all for you. And he's going to tell them, I don't know you. Who are you? Get out of here. Kick rocks. So here we are. Now, we're starting at Exodus 36. Somebody give me a breakdown, Jade, of where we are to this point. We had creation. We have the book of Genesis. We're into Exodus. What is happening? Who's our people? What's happening here?
Moses, he is the one leading Israel right now. He got everyone out of Egypt under Pharaoh's oppression. They did 10 plagues. They moved throughout the land. They have been going to wars and conquering lands they will inherit in the future. And they are getting commands at Mount Sinai now. The people were too afraid to hear from Yahuwah himself. The thunder and lightning was too much. So they told Moses to go up there. Moses has been on the mountain. He was up there 40 days. He got the 10, people know the 10 commandments, called 10 words here. He went. All the people went astray. 40 days they had been left from Moses. So they created a golden calf. They told Aaron to make them an idol, and they thought this was their Elohim. Moses heard about it. Yahuwah told Moses, and Moses went back down there. He was angry, threw the stones to the ground, begged Yahuwah not to blot out all the people. He's like, you blot out the people, blot out me too. They killed Levites killed 3,000 of them. Moses went back up there, got 2 new sapphire stones, and has been getting new commands. And Yahuwah has anointed people to build the temple and use the instructions that he has given Moses.
All right, and so here we are today, and unfortunately, this is one of these drier readings, and don't leave us yet. Don't leave us yet. It's dry. I got to deal with it. Hopefully, you guys will hang with me, and we can all read this stuff together, because there is a tremendous amount of wisdom, even though it's stuff that we probably won't completely understand right now. I do believe there is a temple in the kingdom that is duplicated, looks just like what they are building here, and that all of these things that are on earth have been replicated in the Shamayim. And I believe, without a shadow of a doubt, that when our Messiah comes, that we're going to be keeping the Shabbat, we're going to be keeping the appointed times, we're going to be keeping all of his everything, right? And the people that don't make it are the people that have not been practicing. We may be on wrong calendars. All of us may not have the first month correct. We may not have Passover date right. But we have a Messiah who's going to come, and he's going to lay this all out for us. But he's not going to be laying it out for the people that don't do this, right? We are doing better than the world because we are absolutely giving it every best shot that we can. And we're not right. And this doesn't make us sinless. It doesn't make us better than anyone else. It doesn't anything other than our eyes are open and we understand that the spiritual and the physical destruction of breaking the Torah is death. And the only way that we are able to get back into the kingdom to come is by the death and resurrection of our Messiah, who became that blood-bought, born sacrifice for us. And that is what broke the spiritual curse of death through the Torah. So now we'll all die a physical death. Most of us will all die a physical death, but we may not have to die a spiritual death if we are the people who are willing to obey the laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator and walk as He wants us to walk. And it's not a bad walk, guys. It's a very, very good walk that comes with supernatural protection. It comes with all sorts of, you have bodyguards that you don't even know that you have that are sitting there wielding supernatural defense. And it's better than anything you could ever find anywhere. It's better than a gun. So here we go, Exodus 36. And Betsael and Oholiab, and every wise-hearted man in whom Yahuwah had given wisdom and understanding, to know how to do all work for the service of the Kodesh place, shall do according to all Yahuwah has commanded. I love seeing the comments, guys. So when I'm like stopping here, I'm actually reading the screen with you guys. So that's my favorite part of this entire reading, is that I get to spend time with you, which is why it really irks me when YouTube kills the chat and I can't actually speak. All right, what'd you have in there?
Honeymoon Stitch just said, the truth shall set you free.
Yeah.
Live this. Praise Av Yahuwah.
Yeah, you know, and the truth will set us free. And the thing about when you start walking the Torah, it's not that you could ever become perfect or that you could ever become somebody who is not a Torah breaker, but you do not have the guilt of living a Torah-less life. The guilt, the perfect freedom of the Torah is that you are free from the guilt of walking contrary to what our Creator wants, right? Everybody accuses everybody of legalism, right? You guys out there have heard this, oh, we don't want to keep the laws because that's legalism. You guys know what the definition, what the reverse, the opposite of legalism is? Illegal. Illegal. So if you don't want to be legal, part of Yah's laws and be legal according to what he wants us to, then you're illegal. That illegal has you falling under the lawlessness of Matthew 7, where Messiah says, depart from me. Very important things to understand. Okay, 2. And Moshe called Betsael and Oholiab, and every wise-hearted man in whom Yahuwah had given wisdom, everyone whose heart lifted him up to come and do the work. And they received from Moshe all the contribution which the children of Israel had brought for the work of the service of making the Kadosh place, but they still brought to him voluntary offerings every morning. So all the craftsmen who were doing all the work of the Kodesh place came, each from the work he was doing. Yep, if you love me, obey my commandments. Absolutely, and I will follow up with that one on that, because the Christians will say, well, he's only talking about 2 commandments. And that's what they will say. There's only 2 commandments, and if I follow these 2 commandments, the rest of the Torah hangs on this. But what they don't realize is the very first commandment is to love Yahuwah, Elohim Most High, with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your strength, and with all your being, right? If you loved him with all of that, then you would not be a fool and disregard his Torah as trash. You wouldn't say it's nailed to the stake. You wouldn't say it's been fulfilled so you don't have to keep it. That's insanity, right? That's the work of the devil that talks all about that. Okay, continuing on. I love seeing this stuff here. All right, yeah, I pick which ones I do. Come on. Yeah, and that's exactly right. That's the Christian conundrum. Well, we keep the 10 commandments. Well, you don't keep the 4th commandment, right? You don't keep Shabbat. So yeah, it's a mess. The religion of Christianity is an excuse-making sin factory that leads people straight to hell. Okay, 4. So all the craftsmen who were doing all the work of the Kodesh place came, each from the work he was doing. And they spoke to Moshe, saying, the people bring much more than enough for the service of the work which Yahuwah commanded us to do. Then Moshe commanded, and they sent this word throughout the camp, saying, let neither man nor woman nor do any more work for the contribution of the Kadosh place. And the people were withheld from bringing, for what they had was enough for all the work to be done, more than enough. And this is, I find this is fascinating, right? They were living in a world where these people loved their Elohim so high that they said, bring what you want to give, right? And these people were so inflamed for the love of their Elohim, for the guidance that they have. They're so appreciative to their commander in chief, Yahuwah, that they brought everything, right? There was so much there. We live in a world right now where there's not much giving. There's not much of this. And these people truly love Yah with all they have. 8. Then all the wise-hearted ones among them who worked on the Mishkan made 10 curtains woven of fine linen, and blue, and purple, and scarlet. They made them with cherubim, the work of a skilled workman. The length of each curtain was 28 𝐤𝐄, and the width of each curtain 4 𝐤𝐄, all the curtains having one measure. And he joined 5 curtains, one to another, and the other 5 curtains he joined one to another. And he made loops of blue on the edge of the curtain, on the edge of the end of one curtain, and on the seam. The same he did on the edge and on the seam. 50 loops he made on one curtain, and 50 loops he made on the edge of the curtain on the seam of the second. The loops held one curtain to another. And he made 50 hooks of gold, and joined the curtains to each other with the hooks, and the Mishkan became one. And he made curtains of goat's hair for the tent over the Mishkan. He made 11 curtains. The length of each curtain was 30 𝐤𝐄, and the width of each curtain 4 𝐤𝐄, the 11 curtains having one measure. And he joined 5 curtains and 6 curtains by themselves. And he made 50 loops on the edge of the end curtain in one, and 50 loops he made on the edge of the curtain joining the second. And he made 50 bronze hooks to join the tent to be one. And he made a covering for the tent of ram's skin dyed red, and a covering of fine leather above that. And for the Mishkan he made boards of acacia wood standing up. The length of each board was 10 𝐤𝐄, and the width of each board 1.5 𝐤𝐄. Eli, where are we going to?
I was going to go for a little bit more.
Okay. Each board had 2 tenons for binding one to another. So he did to all the boards of the Mishkan. And he made boards for the Mishkan, 20 boards for the south side. And he made 40 sockets of silver to go under the 20 boards, and 2 sockets under each of the boards for its 2 tenons. And for the other side of the Mishkan, for the north side, he made 20 boards. And there are 40 sockets of silver, 2 sockets under one board, and 2 sockets under the other board. Now we're going to head over here, guys, to the Targums. And again, for those who have not read the Targums with us, it's a little different. The translation is definitely a little different. It is it was Arabian or something that came out of this. What was this originally?
Arabic.
Arabic, yeah. So this was originally, I think it was in Arabic, and so it was from Arabic to English. And it has some different stuff. And if there's any kind of leaven in this, this is what we try to point out. But it is an interesting read, and we definitely gleaned some stuff from this that we didn't know if it was truth or fiction. And some of the stuff that we've been able to find, there is truth to it. There's a lot of truth to this. So I don't know why sometimes this stuff isn't in other manuscripts and it's in these other ones, but it's good to have this for discussion and to kind of see what other translations have. Okay, 36:1. And Bezalel and Eliab wrought, and every man wise in heart, to whom Yahuwah had given wisdom and intelligence to understand and to make all the work for the service of the sanctuary, according to all that Yahuwah had commanded. And Moshe called Bezalel and Ahaliab, and every wise man in heart, to whose heart Yahuwah had given wisdom, every one whose heart was moved to draw near and to do the work itself. And they took from before Moshe all the separation that children of Yashrael had brought for the work of the service of the sanctuary to make it. And they still brought to him voluntary gift, morning after morning, from their possessions. And all the wise men who did all the work of the sanctuary came, each man from the work which he had done. And they said to Moshe, the people abound in bringing more than is enough for the service of the work which Yahuwah has ordained. And Moshe commanded that they made proclamation through the camp, saying, neither man nor woman may make any more work for the set apart separation. And the people ceased from bringing. For what had been done was according to the sufficiency of all the work, and they did it, and had more than enough. And all the wise in heart made the tabernacle, 10 curtains of fine linen, and hyacinth, and purple, and scarlet, figured with cherubim, the work of the embroider, he made them. The length of one curtain, 28 cubits, the sum of one curtain. The measure was one for all the curtains. And he could join 5 curtains, one with another, and the other 5 curtains conjoined he with the other. And he made loops of hyacinth upon edge of one curtain, and at the place of conjunction in the side. So he set in the side at the place of conjunction in the other curtain. 50 loops he made in one curtain, and 50 loops he made and 50 loops made he at the place of juncture of the edge of the second curtain. The loops were arranged over one another. And he made 50 taches of gold, and conjoined one curtain with another with the taches, and there was one tabernacle. And he made curtains of goat's hair to spread upon the tabernacle. 11 curtains he made them. The length of one curtain, 30 cubits, and 4 cubits the breadth of one curtain, one measure for the 11 curtains. And he joined 5 curtains together, corresponding with the 5 books of the Torah, and 6 curtains together. All right, there's our first thing that we, this is not absolutely in scriptures, where it talks about, and he joined 5 curtains together, corresponding with the 5 books of the Torah. Which book did this come from? Targums? Yeah, this is well, there's a whole bunch of different Targums. This is the Targums of Exodus. I don't know if all the Targums are written by the same guy, but there's like the Targums of Genesis, Targums of Exodus.
I can't remember which one this is.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought this was Aramaic. I thought this particular one.
Yeah, it went from
So I think they were in captivity, and this was written down. I think this was like
from Hebrew to Aramaic, and then translated to English.
Hebrew, Aramaic to English is what Mystical says on this one as we were searching through this. But this was written down when they were in some sort of captivity, right? This is when they were not like all together as the tribes, from what I can understand. Okay. Exodus 36:16. And he joined 5 curtains together and corresponding, actually it's 36:17. And he made 50 loops in the border of the curtain at the place of conjuncture, and 50 loops made he upon the border of the curtain at the second place of conjuncture. And he made taches of brass to compact the tabernacle, that it might become one. And he made a covering for the tabernacle of ram skinned reddened, and purple skins to protect it above. And he made the boards of the tabernacle of cedar wood, standing up after the way of their plantation. 10 cubits the length of the board, and 1.5 cubits the breadth of one board. Each board had 2 tenons arranged, one side for the midst of the other side, and so did he for all the boards of the tabernacle. And he made the boards of the tabernacle 20 boards, and on the side of the south wind. This is hard reading. And 40 boards of silver he made under the 20 boards, 2 sockets beneath one board for its 2 tenons, and 2 sockets under another board for its 2 tenons. And the second side of the tabernacle on the north he made 20 boards. And there 40 sockets of silver, 2 sockets beneath one board and 2 sockets beneath the other board. All right. Yeah. So I don't know those like the numbers either, but I think what we can take from the numbering is there's our Creator has a lot of stuff. Number one is we can glean that our Creator has some favorite colors, right? That he likes blues, purples, redishes, like scarlets, things like that. And what is it?
Gold.
Gold, definitely gold. And he also likes things in 7s and 50s, right? Because we have jubilees that are in the 50th year. We have our 7th-day Sabbath, and you know our Creator has everything in a routine. And we believe as a family that from the date of creation to the date now, you're going to be able to count 1 through 7 all the way to where we are right now, and that it has never skipped. Now you will have a lot of other Torah keepers, and you will have, I mean, there's so many different Torah calendars. It's just really crazy. But you will have folks that will have like an 8-day week or a 9-day week, because they are trying to bring a new year to fruition and trying to get their calendars to sync up. And so when we go outside of cycles of 7s and cycles of 50s, I believe that we have a problem and that we're off somewhere. Now, do any of us have the actual calendar right? I don't know. I don't even know if this is really a 7th day on this thing, or if it's been split around other times. We hope that it's the 7th day, but you know we're at the end of days, and you know they've changed everything. They've changed all our times, all our stuff, and the best we can do is align into this and seek our Creator and hope for a Messiah who's going to line everything up for us and make this all right. All right, so let us get into the next side. 27. Exodus 36, 27. And he made 6 boards for the west side of the Mishkan. And he made 2 boards for the 2 back corners of the Mishkan. And they were double beneath. And similarly, they were complete to the top by 1 ring. So he did to both of them for the 2 corners. And there were 8 boards, and their silver sockets, 16 sockets, 2 sockets under each of the boards. And he made bars of acacia wood, 5 for the boards on one side of the Mishkan, and 5 bars for the boards on the other side of the Mishkan, and 5 boards for the boards of the Mishkan at the rear westward. Now we tried to find pictures of this, guys, because this is it's kind of dry reading, but it's one of these things that I think one day we're all going to be just like, wow, we read about this. This is what it was talking about, and we're going to see this thing in real life, something like this, I think. But this is important stuff that we do know. 33. I think so. And he made the middle bar to pass through the boards from one end to the other. And he overlaid the boards with gold, and their rings he made of gold to be holders for the bars, and overlaid the bars with gold. And he made a veil of blue and scarlet and blue and purple and scarlet and fine worked linen. It was made with cherubim, the work of a skilled workman. And he made 4 columns of acacia wood for it, and overlaid them with gold, with their hooks of gold. And he cast 4 sockets of what's that word? I'm trying to read the things.
Silver for them.
Silver for them. All right, I'm reading chat, guys. Here we are. No one has the actual calendar correct, even Rabbi. Abba Yahuwah knows our heart. He sees our heart. His calendar's hard. But yeah, calendars are hard. Of course, that disappears right when I'm trying to read that. 37. And he made a covering for the tent door of blue and purple and scarlet and fine woven linen made by a weaver, and his 5 columns with their hooks. And he overlaid their tops and their rings with gold, but their 5 sockets were of bronze. And as Eli is switching back over to that, guys, yeah, I agree with everybody here in chat. I don't know is we're even, I mean, we don't really know what year we're in. Really what year at all, who knows what it is. I agree on the Zadok priestly calendar. So far, we have not been able to find a place where it does not correspond to scriptures. And so it's definitely something, if you guys are on other calendars, I would definitely research it, seek Yah, seek his ways, because there's a lot of things, especially in the Apocrypha, that don't align up with the way people are keeping calendars. And it is a problem. But here's the thing. I don't think it's a huge problem, because I think Messiah is going to come, and everybody that's trying this, I mean, we may be like completely way wrong. We might be completely off, but we're giving it a college try, right? We're giving it the best run that we have. We don't know any other way. We can either say, you know what, because we don't know any other way at all, we're just going to go to the heathens and act satanic and not even care. We're just going to go out and shop on Saturday and do whatever we want to do on Saturday. But we are sitting here trying to please our Creator, trying to do what he wants. I pray a lot for guidance that our Creator will send his Son. Messiah Yahushua is going to sort this out for us. And all of a sudden, I think we're all going to be able to sit around and sing Kumbaya, and we'll have the right calendar, and everybody's going to go, whoa, man, we missed this or we missed that. It's not going to be, I don't think there's one person that has everything right. But are we trying? Are we seeking our Creator where He's able to be found? Are we doing what He says we should be doing? Because that second kingdom that comes, if we're doing it now, then even if we're off a day or we're off a week or whatever, it's not going to be foreign to us. Remember how foreign keeping the appointed times and keeping Shabbat was to all of us when we were brand new in this, when we were babes in Torah keeping, right? It was weird. It was totally weird having set apart days and having 2 Shabbats in a week where you have a high Shabbat and you just don't know what to do with your time. It takes time and it takes learning. All right, starting off the rest of this into Targums of Exodus 36:27. And to the border of the tabernacle westward, he made 6 boards. And 2 boards made he at the corners of the tabernacle at their extremes. And they were conjoined below and joined together, were at their tops with 1 ring. So he made both of them at the 2 corners. The feasts were hard. Yeah, same here, Brian. The feasts were hard for us. They still, I mean, they're still interesting times. Like Passover, the unleavened bread, the week of unleavened bread. And there's a lot of stuff like we don't know what they would have been doing back in the days, right? We try to figure out, based upon what we know from the doctrine that we have right now, how do we keep these days? What are we supposed to be doing? What was it really about? How should we be acting? And things like that. And we don't know. And so we're waiting. We're waiting our high priest. We're waiting our Melchizedek priest. We're waiting the blood-bought, born, perfected, amazing Rabbi Yahushua. He's on his way at some point, and that's who we're waiting for. Okay, 36:29 says, and they were conjoined below and joined together, were at their tops with 1 ring. So made he both of them at the 2 corners. And 8 boards there were, and their socket of silver, 16 sockets, 2 sockets, and 2 sockets under 1 board. Made bars of cedar wood, 5 for the boards of one side of the tabernacle, and 5 bars for the boards of the second side of the tabernacle, and 5 bars for the boards of the tabernacle at the ends westward. Made the middle bar to more ties in the midst of the boards from end to end of the tree which our father Abraham planted in Berea of Sheba, praying there in the name of the word of Yahuwah, the everlasting Elohim. All right, read 36:33 because this is very much different than anything we have.
36:33.
36:33.
And he made the middle bar pass for the boards from one end to the other.
That's it?
That's it.
All right, so this is a little bit extra that we get in this translation. So they obviously knew about some kind of tree Abraham planted, Berea of Sheba. So that's a little bit extra. I don't think it breaks anything. It just gives a little more there. 36:34 says this, and the boards he overlaid with gold, and the rings he made of gold as the place for the bars. And he covered the bars with gold. And he made the veil of hyacinth and purple and crimson and fine linen twine, the work of the artificer. Figured with cherubim, he made it. And he made for it 4 pillars of cedar wood and covered them with gold and their hooks of gold and cast them 4 sockets of silver. And he made a curtain for the door of the tabernacle of hyacinth and purple and crimson and fine linen twine, the work of the embroider, and its 5 pillars and their 5 hooks, covered their capitals and their joinings with gold, and their 5 bases with brass. All right, guys. So if you guys made it through that one, hopefully you are with me still on this. We thank you guys for being a part of our family. We are we're the family that's still looking, guys. We don't have the answers. People come to us and ask us questions all the time, and I'll be honest. Does everybody guard the second Sabbath? Grant, I will address that in a second. Actually, I'll address that now. I think she's talking about the high Shabbat when it's a Passover Shabbat. And yeah, absolutely. We're called to keep the second Shabbat, and it is a mystical. What are the rules for the second Shabbat? On
High Shabbat?
Yeah, I think that's what she's talking about, high Shabbat.
Most of them are the same as a regular Shabbat, except for you can cook.
Right.
But there are some that you cannot cook whatsoever. They're exactly the same as a Shabbat.
Yeah, and we always keep the second Shabbat. Yes, the high Shabbat. We always keep the high Shabbat. People have so much confusion on the calendars and how exactly we get there and different things. But Messiah's gonna fix this for us. He's gonna dial this in. All the hatred and anger that everybody has over these calendars and stuff. I don't know if this is so much of Messiah. I definitely would say it's not of Messiah. I would definitely say it's not of Yahuwah.
That's what I was wondering. She meant the second Passover.
Oh, the second Passover. Well, if you didn't keep it. Yeah, I mean, if you missed the second Passover, yeah.
I missed the first one.
If you missed the first Passover, or you were unclean, or you're unable to partake of it, that's why we had the second Passover, was to do that, so we could do that. And then, we have tons of scriptures where people missed it, and they kept it the second Passover.
But she was just wondering if it was appropriate for you to keep the second one if you did the first one, I think is what she's saying.
I don't think so. I don't know. I don't think there's anything that says we keep it. It's only there if we have missed this, and didn't make it. I don't see anything. Anyone have anything on that? Okay, yeah. And so if you missed one, obviously there's the one for the second one, and that's the thing where this is such an important appointed time that we were given a second chance, that if we were unclean or we were unable to get the very first one. I go against Jeremy on this. He says, I think cooking on Sabbath is okay. It says cook what we're supposed to cook the day before, right? Put seeds what we're supposed to seed the day before. Us and our family, Friday is all day preparation day. We cook everything we're gonna prep on this, and it's crock pot meals and things that don't need to be cooked on the Shabbat. And that's how we see that. So I guess this is it. Anyone else have anything? Chat room, you guys have anything out there? Much love to you guys. I'm watching. We'll let Jade bless everyone here in a second with the Aaronic blessing. And I guess that's it, everybody. We love you all. We thank you so much for hanging with us. We're always going to have different viewpoints on things. We're always going to have things that we're not going to have. We will have a Messiah, and he will sort this out for us. And I think we'll all be good when this happens. So until then, let's just keep stiff upper lip, right? Let's keep rocking and keep up in the ways of Yah. Okay, Jade, let's bless our brothers and sisters.
Jehovah bless you and guard you. Jehovah make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. Who will lift his countenance upon you and give you peace. And they shall put my name upon the children of Israel, and I will bless them.
Okay, we love you guys. And let's get you back over here. And the dogs are going to go off, guys. Nothing we can do. There.
That you would render heavens and come down.
fam. So I'm going to jump in here real quick and talk on this whole little thing with 𝐤𝐄𝐄 and the kindling of the fire, guys. When we have kindling of the fire, what we're talking about is we're talking about the process of gathering the wood, getting everything together, bringing this up, and putting it together. And I know that for us, we would do something to where we had if we had a stove and it was a place where it was cold, we would have it to where we burned the wood throughout the night, and then we would have the fire kindled. Basically, you would have a wood stove going, and you would you stick a log in there in the morning, do something of that nature to stay warm on that thing. For us, I mean, I don't know so much as you would wake up in the day and it would be cold and you start a fire. I don't think turning on an electric heater is kindling a fire per se. Talking about that, and may Yah bless, may He not curse me if I am wrong on that. But yeah, I mean, you're either going to freeze to death or you can prepare all that you have. And if you have all of that stuff, most of these like fireplaces, they will burn for like over a day if they're just smoldering. And you just toss a couple of sticks in there, it relights up. You're not doing any kind of work or anything on that. So we try everything possible not to kindle fire. I mean, down here we don't have to. But everything is on like the stoves and things. There's just be no cooking, so we don't kindle fire like that. If we had to stay warm, then we would have the fire brewing the day before and make sure that do the very best we could to make sure it was still rolling. Okay, guys, we love you very much. May Yahuwah bless you and keep you. May His light forever shine upon you. May Messiah Yahushua forever be part of our lives, and may the kingdom to come be blessed upon all of us. We love you all. We hope you have a wonderful week. Much love. We're out.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.